Hello everyone and welcome to week 9. And what I'm going to promise you in advance right now is this is going to be my shortest lecture yet. You notice it says week 9 through 11 lecture because I won't post a lecture for weeks 10 or 11. And this is because right now at this point of the course what I'm intending to do is launch you off in a collaborative process with each other, and that's basically how we'll spend Unit 4. Then in the final unit, which is really week 13, weeks 12 and 13, we'll come back together as a group and we will present our term presentations to each other. So this lecture is going to describe the process for weeks 9 through 11 and how it's going to work. So first of all, I asked all of you to identify one of the 3 tracks that you want to participate in. And some of you have done that by now. I assume that by the weekend, before July 10th anyway, everyone will have told me what groups they're going to be in. So I've asked, again as a reminder, for everyone to select one of the 3 separate tracks and then stay in that track for weeks 9 through 11. And then here's what we're going to do. So for each week, each of you will be in a group. The groups will be of varying sizes. Some groups will be smaller than the others, but I think this will still work pretty well. What I'm asking each group to do in general is I want you to submit a collaboration product which will consist of a Word document that is a summary paper of the readings, and I'm going to ask that each group submit those summary papers by Thursday at midnight. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, amongst yourself within your groups, select someone who's going to do the submission, and that person will submit the paper by Thursday night and submit that on the discussion board. Make an attachment on the discussion board and say who you are and which group you are speaking for and submit the paper. Then other students are encouraged but not required to submit comments and questions on the papers that are submitted. Now you notice that the discussions for these weeks are worth 5 points each. So I've reduced the point value, and each student in the group will get the same point value for the submission of the paper. The questions and comments again are optional, but I do encourage them because I hope that what these papers will be good for all of you in the future is to provide you with a list of sources for these various specific topics. So here's what I'd like to see in the papers. Here's the requirements. So for each source, I'd like a full APA citation of the source. So in this way, it's kind of like an annotated bibliography, but it will be useful for other students in the future for a reference point. And then what I'd like is a summary of the major points that the authors or author is making. And then I'd like you to critique and evaluate the strengths and the weaknesses of the arguments that the author is making. And then provide me then with a critique of the usefulness of the piece for the particular track that you're in. In other words, this is a useful piece for healthcare or for emergency management, or it's not, and then please say why. And then the applicability of the piece to intergovernmental relations or intergovernmental management. And then finally, the applicability of the piece to the stated theme of the week. And I'll talk about those themes in just a moment. So once I get all the names for all the groups and all the specialty tracks, I'm going to set up group areas on Blackboard, and you should actually see on your Blackboard page, you should see there will be a tab that says My Groups, and you should be able to click on it and see the members of your group. And so what I'd like you to use that area for, and you don't have to use it, by the way, it's optional, but what I'd like you to use that for is exchange files with each other or emails or information with each other. Again, you're not required to use that group, but I do want to set it up for your convenience. But basically, the collaboration techniques that you're going to use are generally at your discretion. So phone or email or Skype, whatever works best for you. I do realize that we are in separate time zones, literally all over the world, but that's okay. I think that collaboration is the way that work gets done, and I want to use this time to allow you to collaborate in the professional way that you typically might at your jobs. And then finally, what I'm going to do at the conclusion of week 11 is I'm going to design an evaluation form, and that will be confidential. I will ask each person to complete the evaluation form and send it to me directly. And I will make that evaluation form available on Blackboard. So here are the themes, and if you read ahead on the readings, what I've done for weeks 9, 10, and 11 is for each week in the three topic areas, I've assigned themes. So for this coming week, week 9, in emergency management, I titled it Looking Ahead. In cities and other governments, I titled it City-State Budget Issues. Then in healthcare, I titled it History of Medicaid. So it's actually possible that I may have mistitled the themes, and so that might be one of the things that you discuss in your collaboration papers, is that, hey, Dr. Harrold mistitled the theme, and really we'd suggest that you call the theme this. But I actually am looking forward to these papers because, again, this is the first time we've offered this course in a long time, and I am actually looking for genuine feedback on what I could have done better, how the class could have been structured better, and the readings themselves, whether the readings are of any value at all. So again, you look to week 10 and week 11, you can see the themes that apply to those weeks. So again, one of the things I want you to do in the paper is critique the theme itself and whether the piece meets the theme, whether I actually titled the theme correctly. And then finally, excuse me. Finally, here's the upcoming events. We still do have 2 reading reflections left. Reading reflection 3 is due July 16th, and number 4 is due July 30th. So look at the assignments tab. I'm giving you a couple of different options on the style that you can use to write those reflections in. So please do look at the assignment tabs. Those are your own work. Don't copy them directly from your group pieces. So please make this your own work and make the papers, the collaboration papers, a collaboration work. And then when we get to week 12, there are assigned readings in week 12, but the discussion board will be optional for week 12. But it is one I really would like you to participate in, because what I'm going to ask you to do in week 12 is critique the course. This is over and above your confidential critique, or course eval, I guess it's called. You do receive an email from UNO that asks you to do a course eval, and of course I would like you to do a course eval. Those are always, as always, are confidential, and I don't see those till after the semester is completed. But week 12 will be an open discussion and course critique, which I really would appreciate you participating in, because I do want to make the course better. Maybe even critique me as an instructor, or whatever you want to critique. That's the point of the critique. And then otherwise on week 12, what I'd like you to do is finalize your presentation and then post it by August 7th. And then finally, week 13 will consist of giving each other feedback on our presentations. So as you know, I've made this presentation the major the central piece of the course. And so the idea of this presentation, once again, is you're assuming the role of a person who is briefing someone on a an IGR or IGM problem, as we've said, and then you are going to provide us with the literature and provide us with the problem and provide us with recommended solutions as it states in the syllabus. So please refer to the syllabus, and I'm looking forward to that exercise on week 13, and that really will be our finals week for the course, week 13, and I will ask each student to critique each other and sorry, that was probably a Freudian slip, offer constructive criticism to each other on your presentations. So, as promised, this is the shortest briefing or shortest lecture that you've had for me this course. So congratulations on getting through the 11 minutes of this. And I'm looking forward to seeing your collaboration papers. And as always, please do email me with difficulties that you have experienced during these 3 weeks. I will be monitoring the progress, of course, during this time. Thanks a lot.